Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry and today we'll be having another playthrough. Today I'll be playing through this game right here, Le Havre, designed by Uwe Rosenberg and published by Lookout Games. And this is what the game looks like set up. I will be playing a solo mode. This game plays anywhere from 1 through 5 players, and it has both a long version and a shortened version of the game, and I will be playing the shortened version of the game. So this is what the game looks like set up. First of all, we have all these different resources. These little jars here, they do not come with the game. I bought them on Amazon and they are a helpful storage solution, but they're also helpful for setup. You have all the different spaces assigned for the different resources in the game, your wood supply, clay supply, iron supply, and there are tons of resources, and they are represented by these double-sided tiles that show the standard regular resource plus an upgraded version of that resource, because lots of what's going to go on in this game is you're going to be doing resource conversion. The goal of this game is to have the most points or the most wealth at the end of the game, which is a combination of your coinage, the coins that you have at the end of the game, combined with the value of the different buildings and ships you will be building and acquiring throughout the game. Each player gets, in the shortened version, gets a 2-value wooden ship. And these ships are valuable because they also help you feed your people. This is an Uwe Rosenberg feeding your people kind of game. They help you feed your people, and they also help you ship goods for money, right? Or for victory points. Now, this right here indicates that during the first round of the game, or I should say, for the amount of players that are in the game, in this case is a solo game, this little boat right here provides 5 food for me as it is. So I'm just going to get one of these tokens right here, which you use to indicate how much food is provided for by your ships. So this will produce 5 food for me. You set up these offering spaces. You have a bunch of different offering spaces where players will be going to acquire these different goods, and they will be accumulating kind of like in a game like Agricola, right? So you have your franc offer here, you have your fish offer, your wood offer, your clay offer, your iron offer, your grain offer, and your cattle offer. And you have a starting offer depending on whether or not you're playing the long or the shortened version of the game. I have this little meeple piece, which is a little bit better than what comes with the game, to represent my one and only worker. This is a worker placement game, but you only have one worker. And also this ship right here, which you'll be using to advance through the different trade spots, which will activate things that happen, resources that are replenished, but it will also serve as a trigger of how many turns are left. You have 7 spaces indicating 7 turns for each round. In a shortened version of the solo game, you're going to be playing through 4 rounds. But in a multiple player game, you would play through more rounds. And what's interesting is for each round, there's a collective amount of turns, which would be 7. So on every turn, one player would be getting more turns. On every round, one player would be getting more turns than the other. But in a solo game, you're going to be getting all of the turns. You also shuffle up the necessary buildings based on the player count and the shortened or lengthened version of the game. You have a certain amount of buildings will be in the game. You shuffle them up, divide them into 3 stacks, and put them in ascending order of value. You also have a certain amount of starting buildings that are in the city. As the game progresses, the city will have more and more buildings added to it. And basically, these are neutral buildings that do not belong to any of the players. And some of them, or most of them, have a certain price you have to pay in order to go into them, as opposed to the buildings that you own as a player, which you get for free. You also set up the loan cards on the side. You can borrow. However, once per round, you will be paying interest for your outstanding loans. And also, you'll have negative points at the end of the game for every loan you're unable to pay off. And that's pretty much it as far as setup is concerned. So first, let's look at these cards right here for the round. First of all, they indicate whether or not there's a harvest round. And 3 out of the 4 rounds in this solo short version of the game will be harvest rounds, which means you will reproduce any cattle and grain in your possession, but it also means that you need to feed your workers. And here it says at the end of round 1, I need to provide 10 food for my workers. And so far, I already have 5 thanks to my wooden ship. All right, so let's see how a turn looks like. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this ship to the first spot here, and we reveal what's here. And these will not be shuffled throughout the game. This will stay this way. Right now, we're revealing them as they go, and they are shuffled randomly at the beginning of the game. But going forward, they will remain in these spots. So this right here indicates that I add a wood and a fish to their respective offers. And it also indicates that if there were any outstanding debts, interest would be collected then and there. After the player has moved their ship and triggered the offer spaces, the player has one of two basic actions that they must choose from. They could either grab all the goods from any one of the offer spaces, or they can do a worker placement action. Take their one worker, place it on a building of their own, an opponent's building if they were playing a multiplayer game, or on one of the city's buildings, and if they need to pay the corresponding price. You always must move your worker, so you can never activate two actions, the same action 2 turns in a row. You're always going to have to move your worker on a future action. So that's tough as far as this game is concerned. So let me see what buildings. I have the building firm, but this one's for free. I have the marketplace, I have the sawmill, and I have the black market. So let me see which of these I am interested in. I think I might just go for a building. Let's see which of these buildings can I afford. I can't afford the abattoir, and I can't afford the fishery. So I think I'm gonna go over here to the building firm. I could go to the sawmill. I'm gonna go to the sawmill, absolutely. And this does not have any price on the upper right, and it says I could build one building that requires wood for building for 1 fewer wood. There's 2 ways of acquiring buildings, by the way. First of all, you could use your worker placement action to go to one of these building places and pay the necessary resources that the buildings cost, or you can just flat out pay its price. It has a price on the upper left-hand corner with money. That, by the way, is a free action. You can buy buildings if you have enough coins on any turn you want, no matter what action you chose. Okay. So I'm going to go here to the sawmill, and I am going to, these are my starting resources, by the way. Depending on the length, the shortened or a longer version of the game, you have a certain amount of starting resources. So I'm going to use 1 wood and 1 clay to build myself the fishery. And the fishery, besides having a value of 10, which is very good, it's a specific type of building with certain symbols that trigger other buildings. But also, it's going to give me 3 fish plus 1 fish per building of this type, and this will count itself. So I would get at least 4 fish for this building. So I will get this fishery for 1 wood and 1 clay. And I pay 1 less wood because that's what the sawmill allows for me. Okay, so I only had to pay 1 clay for that building. That's excellent. Awesome. All right, so now I will move to the next spot with my ship here. And this adds a coin to the offer space plus a wood to the offer space. And now let's see what I will do here. So again, I could just snatch up all of these, or I could do a worker placement action. And I think I'm going to do another worker placement action. I think I'm going to go here to build 1 building. And I am going to build, what am I going to build? Do I want to build a smokehouse? That would actually combo very well with my fishery. I might just do that. Let's see, 2 wood and 1 clay is a lot, but it might just be worth it. Or do I want the abattoir? I think I'm going to go for the smokehouse. So I'm going to pay 2 wood and 1 clay to build this smokehouse, which has a value of 6. Again, it adds those symbols to my tableau, to my part of the city. And I could do this action where I spend 1 energy in order to turn a fish into smoked fish. 6 times. I could turn 6 fish tokens into smoked fish, which is the reverse side of the same token, the same tile. And it's worth more food. Because, by the way, some of these resources provide additional things for you, like food, represented by this symbol. So a regular fish is worth 1 food, but a smoked fish is worth 2 food. Also, some of these provide energy for you. So for example, wood here is a source of energy indicated by that light bulb symbol right there. And charcoal, the reverse side, is worth even more energy. So that's something to factor in. Every time I spend energy, I could turn up to 6 fish for smoked fish. Plus, I get half a coin for each fish that I turn into smoked fish. Rounded up and rounded down, as a matter of fact. So I got the smokehouse. We're done with that. I will move over here to this spot right here. All right, I will add to the wood and to the cattle offer spaces. And now I have my one action, and I think I'm going to snatch up a whole bunch of wood right now. I'm going to snatch up a bunch of wood. It's going to be very helpful for me. So I've cleared that offer space of all its wood. All righty. And now we will go to the next spot right here, which will add a frank and an iron to the respective offer spaces. And now, I think I'm going to go to the marketplace here, where it allows me to take 2 different standard goods, which includes hides and coal. So all of these goods are up for grabs. I could take 2 different ones, plus 1 for every additional building that has this symbol on the upper right-hand corner, which I happen to have already 2. That means I can grab 4 different resources, as long as they're different. So I'm going to grab myself a fish. Fish is going to be very valuable for me in this game. And I'm going to grab myself a clay. Clay, I need some clay, running out of it. I'm also going to grab myself, you know what, another wood. And finally, I'm going to grab myself another iron. So those are the 4 resources I got. All right, now I will move to the next turn. Move the ship over here. Add clay to the offering space and add wood to the offer space. And now what do I want to do with my action? I think I'm going to snatch up these fish right here, even though there's a good chance that one of these 2 will be a fish spot. So I might want to reconsider that actually. I think I'm going to save, maybe I'm going to save that for my next turn. You got to anticipate what's coming out here. So I think I might do some building. Let me build, this is a pretty good one. The brickworks is a pretty good one. I'm going to go here where I get to build a building that requires wood for building for 1 fewer wood. So I'm going to get these brickworks right here. And instead of paying 2 wood, I'm going to pay 1 wood because I went to the sawmill. And I'm going to pay 1 clay and 1 iron. And not only is this worth 14, which is very valuable, it gives me that symbol. And also, I can convert clay into brick, paying half an energy for each clay that I turn into brick. But I also get half a coin, rounded down, for each clay I turn into a brick. So that is a very, very valuable building. Okay, now I will move on over here. And yes, I'm glad I waited because that's an additional fish for the offer space. And it's an additional clay. And now with my action, I'm going to snatch up all of these nice little fish over here. Okay, we're done with that. Now we'll move over here. And again, I didn't want to wait because I want to turn that fish into more food right now. So I will add a fish to the offer space, and I will add a grain to the grain offer space. Now, there's a lack of tension when you're playing solo because basically everything's there for you and nobody's going to snatch it from you. However, the way the game compensates for that is by reducing your typical shortened 2-player version of a game with 8 rounds to make it a 4-round game. So in 4 rounds, you've got to try to be as productive as you typically are being in an 8-round game. So that's the way they make up for the lack of tension. All right, so we've added those offering spaces. This is my last turn before the end of the round, and this is a harvest round. I need 2 cattle at least in order to reproduce cattle for a harvest round. However, I really want to get some food right now. So instead, I'm going to use my smokehouse. I'm going to take my worker here, go to my smokehouse, and for 1 energy total, not 1 per, just 1 energy total, I can turn up to 6 fish into smoked fish. And I will do just that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just by flipping it to the other side. And I'm also going to get half a coin for each of those. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. I gain 3 francs as a result of doing that as well. And by the way, whenever you need to feed your people, francs and food are interchangeable. You can use your francs as food. You can never use your food as francs. So I should be careful about saying that's interchangeable. But you can use your francs to make up for any food that you are short. All right, so now we're going to have a harvest round. I have to provide 10 food. My wooden ship alone provides 5 food, so I need to make up 5 more. So I'm going to use 2 smoked fish, and I don't want to overpay. Well, actually, no, I do have a 5th fish right here, but I might want to save that later to convert it to more smoked fish. So I'm going to use the franc for my 5th food. All right, and turning these 2 for 4. By the way, as far as loans is concerned, you can never get loans for something petty or greedy, right? You can only take loans if you're unable to afford feeding your people. That's the time when you could take a loan. All right, and you can never do it unless, again, you cannot afford to. So there's that. Now we will move on to the next round. At the end of the round, we follow what the card says here. First of all, it indicates that a building will be added from here, from the regular supply to the city. So we look for the one with the lowest value, which is this bakehouse right here, indicated by this 5 number on the top. And this is added to the general city buildings that a player can frequent. Also, we flip this card over to its ship side, and we add this as a wooden ship that's available for either building or purchase, right? And again, these wooden ships, these ships in general, are helpful for the feeding of your people. They contribute to your victory points, even though they cost 14. This is how much their value will be to your victory points at the end of the game. And if you ever wanted to build one instead of buying it, you could just pay 5 wood and 3 energy, and it would be yours. All right, so now we move on to round 2. The ship starts back over here from the beginning. Again, we add wood and fish to the offering spaces. We would look if there was any interest for a loan to be collected. There is none. And now we got to figure out what we want to do. So at this point, I could really use some clay. Clay is a while away from getting there, and I do not want to wait that long. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to snatch up this clay right here. And now we will move on to here. And now I've got a wood and a coin that will be added to the offering spaces. And now with my action, I'm going to move my worker back to the black market. Take 2 tokens of each type whose offer space is empty. Ooh, I could get some clay. 2 tokens of each type. That's great when lots of spaces are empty. It's a good one to factor in. The black market. Do I want to get more? Do I want to get more clay? You could always use your, by the way, bricks are interesting because you can always use your brick as clay, but you can never use your clay as brick. So you don't have to be afraid about upgrading your clay. The rule book specifies that. Okay, I think I'm going to just go here to the black market, and I'm going to get 2 tokens from every offering space that's empty. The clay offer happens to be empty. So, is that what I want to do? You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave my worker where it was, which is right here in the smokehouse. And instead, I'm going to snatch up these fish to create a little bit more empty spots. Now I'm going to go here. We're going to replenish the cattle. We're going to replenish the wood. And now I'm going to go to the black market and trigger getting 2 of each space that's empty, which is awesome. Both of these spaces are empty. So I will get 2 fish, plus I will get 2 clay. All right, now we move on to here. We add to the franc offer space, and we add to the iron offer space. And what will I do? Now I'm going to consider some building. I'm going to go over here to the sawmill, and I'm going to build What do I want to build? I'm going to build with an iron and a clay and a wood. I'm going to build this abattoir right here. All right, and not only does this give me 8 value and another symbol of this, but I can turn cattle into meat and half the amount of hides. So that's very valuable. Cattle is the most valuable source of food in this game. All right, so we're done with that. We'll move on over here where now we will add to the clay and we will add to the wood. And let's see what I want to do. Oh, by the way, I don't pay wood. I pay 1 less wood when I use the sawmill, so I still have that wood. That's very helpful. All right, so now I'm going to start converting some of my clay into bricks. I'm going to do that. So for half an energy per clay, I'm going to turn these 5 clay here. You know what? I'm just going to turn 4 of them. I'm going to turn these 4 clay, even though I might need it. You know what? I'm going to do 5. I'm going to turn these 5 clay, half an energy per clay, so that's 2.5. But I'm gonna have to overpay, so I'll pay 3 energy. I'm gonna use this coal, which is exactly 3 energy. Right here, it says it in the light bulb symbol, 3 energy. I'll turn that coal in order to turn these 5 clay into bricks, and then I get half a coin for each one, rounded down. So 2.5 rounded down is 2 coins. I will get 2 coins as a result of that. Alrighty. Now we'll move on over here, and we have a fish and a brick. So let's add some fish, and let's add some clay, I should say. Okay, here we go. So now I could convert some of this fish into smoked fish. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Or I can build. Let's see here. I can just get this clay mound. By the way, like I said, you could always buy a building outright for its money's worth. And that's a free action. So I'm just going to pay these 2 coins to get this clay mound. It's very cheap anyhow. So I'll get that out of the way. It also makes this wharf available for me if I want to build it. And you're going to need the wharf if you want to build buildings. You cannot build, I should say ships. You cannot build ships until the wharf is available, right? But I need iron for that. I don't have iron. That's brutal. That is brutal. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my worker here where I get to take 2 different standard goods plus 1 for each building type that has that symbol here, which I have 3 of those. So that means I can take 5 different goods. So I'm definitely going to take some iron because like I said, I need it. I'm going to take a cattle because I want to be ready to reproduce for the harvest. I need to have 2 cattle if I want to reproduce. I'm going to take a grain because grain, even if you just have 1, reproduces. So that's already 3. I take an iron, cattle, and grain. I'm going to take a clay. And I'm going to take a fish because fish is helpful for me because I have the smokehouse and the fishery. All right, so we're done with that. Now we will move on to this round. We add fish, we add grain, and now I've got to make some big important decisions. And what I'm going to do is I got to feed my people up to 20 food. I just realized that hit me. 20 food, that is going to be hard. I definitely need to turn my fish into more food. So I'm going to go to the smokehouse where I'll pay a total of 1 energy in order to turn up to 6 fish into smoked fish. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 fish. Plus I get half a coin for each of those. So I'm going to get an additional 3 coins, okay? And now we're done. We're going to have to feed 20 food to our people. I have 5 for my ship. This is 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, and I'll use this single one here for 20. So that was a lot of food, folks. Also, because I have 2 cattle, I reproduce. And because I have 1 grain, I also reproduce. So I got to look forward to having higher sources of food going into future rounds. Also, we have this card symbol again here, which indicates that at the end of the round, we add the lowest value building to the main city. And that would be this wharf. So now the wharf is there. Now, with the buildings in the city, you can no longer build them using their resources, but they are still theoretically available to you for purchase if you so would want them. All right, so there is that. So now the wharf is there, which means I can use it, but I'll have to pay 2 food every time I use it. All right, so we're done with this, and now this card is flipped over. Oh, no, sorry. Where is that card? Where is that card? Where's the 20 food that we just had? Oh, right here. The 20 food. This card is flipped over, and now an iron ship is available for us. And let's look forward to round 3, because at the end of round 3, I'm going to have to feed 30 food. So I have to keep that in mind, because right now, I am struggling to make ends meet. All right, so we're going to start with round 3. We add some wood and some fish to their respective supplies. And let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to wait for here, and then I'm going to try snatching up that cattle and maybe using my abattoir for food. But for now, I got to figure out what else I might want to do. Do I have the resources? I wanted to build that wharf. That's what had just happened, and I just missed it, right? So there is that. I think I'm going to look at these buildings here and see what I need for them. 2 wood and 3. Oh, that's really doable. I'm going to need the shipping line in order to ship anyways. Do I want to build more ships? If I pay 2 food, I would need to play a brick and then I could build. Okay, so what building? I could get the iron ship here for 3 energy and 4 iron. So I'm going to need some iron. So I think I already have 2 iron. You know what? I'm just going to snatch up this iron with my turn right there. Now we move on over here. I add a frank and a wood to their respective supplies. And now what do I want to do with my turn? I could build the iron ship because I have enough iron and I need 3 energy. I could just use this coal. That is what I'll do. I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to go to the wharf. I have to pay 2 food just to use the wharf because it's not my building. And that's how much the price is specified or indicated on the top of the card. So I'm going to pay 2 food. I'm going to turn in this smoked fish for 2 food. And the first person who uses the wharf has to spend a brick, not a clay, a brick in order to modernize it. Now I could use the wharf and build a ship. These are the 2 ships available to me. I'm going to try the iron ship. First of all, I need to pay 3 energy. I have 2 sources of energy, my wood and my coal. My coal provides exactly 3 energy with just 1 token, so I will turn it in. And I got to provide 4 iron, which I happen to have 5 of them. So I'll turn in 4 in order to build this iron ship. And this iron ship, if I'm playing solo, adds 7 food to my total. So I'm just going to grab a token here that indicates that I have 7 more food added. So I'm already at 12 food, but I need 30. But this ship is very helpful to me for other reasons too, because it allows me to ship goods for money later on. All right, so I'm going to move to the next spot. I'm going to add to the wood supply and to the cattle supply. And as I indicated earlier, I was just going to wait for 1 more cattle in order to use my turn to snatch these cattle up. All right, and cattle, if you turn it into meat, is worth lots of food. Now I will move on to this one right here, where I will add a frank and an iron to the offers. Now what I want to do, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to go to the marketplace. I'm going to go to the marketplace, 2 different standard goods, plus 1 for each of these regular building types that I have, which are 3 more. So that's 5 different goods I'm going to get. I'm going to get another cattle, because I really want to turn it into lots of food. I'm going to get another grain. What else am I going to do? I'm going to get another fish, because this is valuable to me. And then 2 more resources. I'm going to get another iron, might be helpful. So I'm going to get another iron. And out of wood and clay, I'm going to say, that I'm going to get a clay. Well, I got the clay mound, actually. I'm going to get wood. But there's a huge supply of wood. I'm going to get coal here, which supplies energy, just in case I need energy later on. Okay, and that's that. I'm done. So now we move on to this round over here. We add clay and a wood. And let's see what I want to do. Soon I got to get ready to feed my people. So let me see what these cattle do for me. I'm going to set aside 2 cattle because you need to have cattle in order to reproduce at the end of the harvest. And this will be a harvest round. I'm going to go with my worker to my abattoir where I get to turn cattle into meat and to hides for free. So I'm going to turn this, and this into meat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I get half the amount of hides. So 3 hides for that. Okay. There you go. That is awesome. And as you can see, meat here is actually worth 3 food apiece. So that is very helpful. So between 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. I have exactly 30 food, not even counting my fish. And I still have potentially grain. So I'm good to go for at least one more round. I'll move over here. We'll add a fish and a clay to their supplies. And I think I want to do some building now. I am going to go over here to the sawmill where I get to build for 1 less wood. I'm going to build this shipping line right here, which cost me 2 wood, but in my case, since I went to the sawmill, only 1. And it cost me 3 bricks right there. And this is awesome because now I could start using my ships in order to trade certain resources for actual money, which remember, money is the goal of this game. So now I have the shipping line available to me. Now we go to this last place where we'll add some fish and we'll add some more grain. And what do I want to do for my last turn in round 3? Do I want to build? Do I want to ship? Let's see. I think I want to work towards doing lots of stuff. So I think I'm just going to snatch up this wood right here. This is a great supply of wood. And it's hard to pass up. And we're done. Now we're going to feed. I need to provide 30 food. I start off with 12 food based on my ships. Then let's look at my meat here. Again, that's 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30 food provided. I will reproduce some cattle and some grain because it's a harvest round. And now, according to the card, I will add another building, the lowest valued one, which is this colliery here, to the main city. And we will flip this over to add a steel ship available for purchase. And now we move on to the 4th and final round of the game, which, by the way, is not a harvest round, and I have to feed 35 food amount. All right, so let's go here. We go over here, we add some wood and some fish. And what do I want to do? Well, first of all, how am I going to provide 35 food? I'm going to need some of this fish over here. So that's probably something I'm going to want to do. All right, so let's see. Do I want to build this tannery? I kind of do. I think I'm going to build this tannery. I'm going to go to the building over here, and I'm going to turn, I'm going to pay 1 less, no, I don't, that's the sawmill. I have to pay the full amount of wood. 1 wood, I'll pay 1 wood and 1 brick, my last brick, I still have 2 clay, but no more brick, to get this tannery, which besides having a value of 12, turns my hides up to 4 times into leather, and that also gets me a coin for each one of those. So there is that, the tannery. All right, so now I'll move on over here. We add another franc to the offer and another wood. And I think that now, am I going to get any more hides? That's the question. This is my last round. I could turn these cattle, there's no more harvest. I could turn this cattle into that. Well, I could only do this up to 4 times. So, and I already have the 4 times here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to grab my worker. I'm going to go to my tannery. I'm going to turn these hides into leather, up to 4 of them at least. And I'll also get 4 coins. I'm just going to grab a 5 and put a 1 back. And we're done with that. We move over here. We add to the wood supply and to the cattle offer. And let's see what I want to do here. So I want to build this ironworks. I think I do. But I would need brick for that. So let's see. And I want to do some big selling before this game is over for me. But I also need to have food. How am I going to feed 35 worth of food, Harry? I definitely need a ship. The steel ship. If I could turn the iron, ooh, I'm gonna need the ironworks to turn it. No, that doesn't even turn it. The steel mill. There's no way I'm gonna get to the steel mill in time. Oh no, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to buy the steel ship. I can still buy an additional wooden ship for whatever that's worth. It costs 5 wood though. That's a lot of wood and 3 energy. You know what, guys? And then I have to pay 2 food just to go there. You know what? It might be worth it. I'm gonna go to the wharf and I'm gonna pay 3 energy with this 1 coal here, and I'm gonna pay 5 wood in order to buy myself an additional wooden ship right here. I might just need it. And that gives me an additional 5 food. So I have a base of 17 at least now. We move on to the next spot. We add some franks. We add some iron. And let's figure out what I want to do. Do I want to build the ironworks? Maybe not. I do want to do some shipping. And based on your shipping, your ships, the ships tell you, so for example, a wooden ship, I could sell 2 goods for each of my wooden ships. And for my iron ship, I could sell 3 goods. So I have 2 wooden ships and 1 iron ship. So I could sell up to 7 different goods every time I go and use my shipping line. So the question is, do I want to do that right now? I have leather, which is worth a lot of money. So that might be worth it. Yeah, I think I might want to do that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to the shipping line. And I can sell up to 7 goods. So each leather, coke is very valuable, but coke is the other version of coal, and it'll take me too long to work towards that. So I'm going to try to get my steel is very valuable, but again, I'm not going to get to the steel mill in time. So I'm going to go to sell 4 leather for 4 francs a piece. So that's 16 francs for these 4 leather. So let me get some 5s and a 1. And then I still have 3 more goods that I could sell. I don't have coal. I don't have bread. I do have cattle though. I will sell these 3 cattle here, even though this is potential food, for 9. Oh, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Smoked fish for 2, brick, iron, clay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to sell these 3 cattle here for 9 food. So let me get 10 and I'll put 1 back. And we're done with that. Now we'll move over here. We'll add to the clay. We'll add to the clay and we'll add to the wood supply. And this is getting down to the nitty gritty. I really got to figure out what I want to do here, folks. I only got 3 more turns. So I think I'm going to save the fish for here and then turn them into as much food as possible. Then again, I don't know how much I could do that with. Man, I might need some fish, some grain, turn that all into food. All right, I'm going to just snatch up all these fish over here. Then we're going to move over here. We're going to move over here. And then we add to the fish supply. We add to the clay supply. I'm going to go over here to the smokehouse. And I'm going to pay 1 total energy to turn up to 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into smoked fish. I get half a coin for each of those. So that's 3 more coins. Then we move over here where we will add fish and grain. And this is my last turn, guys. My last turn. So what can I do? I could go to the bakehouse here. I could do that. I think that's what I will do. I'm going to go to the bakehouse here. And I'm going to pay half an energy per grain. I have 5 grain. So that's 2.5. So I have to round it up and pay 3 energy, which I will do with my wood right here, to turn all of these into bread. And for each one, I get half a coin rounded down. So that would be 2 more coins. And at this point, if I wanted to, okay, so now we're done. So that I could have bought a building if I wanted to, but I don't see any reason why. Okay, so now after the 4 rounds are completed, each player gets 1 more random action that they could go to any building they want even a building that's already occupied, right? So I'm going to get my one last action for the game. And for my one last action of the game, do I want to go to the shipping line? I would need goods. Let's see, I have a hide. I have clay. Others is worth 1 franc. Iron. Yeah, I'm going to go to the shipping line. Might as well. So I'm going to go to the shipping line. I get to sell up to 7 goods. So iron, each iron is going to earn me 2 francs. These hides here, this one hide, is going to earn me 2 francs. So that's already 6 francs. I still have 4 more I could do. Let's see. Leather, coal, bread. Ooh, bread is 3 francs, even though it's 2 food. So I am going to do that. I'm going to sell 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'm going to take that hide back. No, I can't turn that for money. So I'm going to do 4 of these bread here. Right? I did 1 hide and 2 irons. I'm going to turn 4 of these bread here for 3 francs a piece. That's 12 francs. So I make a little bit of a profit there, because remember, you can use your money in exchange for food. And that's it. We are done. So now, first of all, I've got to feed 35 worth of food to my people. So my ships provide 17. This is 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, and right here with this bread, 35. Exactly enough. Now you count all the value worth of your buildings and your ships. So this is 12, 20, 30, 30, 40. This is 50, 60, 74, 78 plus each of your coins, 88, 98, 108, 118, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 134 points. And this is definitely one of those solo games where you compare your previous high scores to one another. Well, folks, that's how Le Havre is played solo. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. This is Harry from When Harry Met Board Games saying take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.